Kelsey. That's Tim. And this is our rolling home, Dusty. We hit the road full-time a few years ago to follow our dreams of driving around the world. And we headed south.
We did it.
COVID brought us back to the States. But there is plenty of adventure to be had here while we wait out the pandemic. So come along and enjoy this crazy ride we call life. Good morning. We have gotten up early and said goodbye to all of the team and friends. We are headed out to a place called Cañon de Guadalupe. And we're kind of going in a back way, so we'll hopefully the roads that we see on the map actually exist and go through. So we're on a bit of an adventure this morning to see if we can get in from the south instead of from the north.
Yeah, we're going over a spot called the Summit, and it's going to head down into the dry lake bed, the Laguna Salada. That's where like the trophy trucks will do well over 100 miles an hour, and then you hit this rough road up to the summit that's pretty treacherous while racing. In a 4x4, I don't think it's that bad, but at race speed, it's definitely a very hazardous, rough section, and it takes you over the mountain and then down into like the Goat Trail, Valle de Trinidad. If all this sounds like gibberish, it's all like nicknames that racers have given sections, of course. So it's kind of fun to go and do this because I haven't seen it in a really long time. And then we're taking it down to a spot called Cañon de Guadalupe, which is hot springs. And now with apps and things like that, it's pretty well known. But back in the day, it was kind of one of these Baja racing secrets, you know, because the race course went near it and guys saw a sign for it, maybe a hand-painted sign or something, and went, wow, this is amazing, we can't tell anybody. And so I actually heard about it from Chad Ragland, and he just gave me the general idea of where it was, but wouldn't tell me the name or exactly how to get there, and that's how I found it. So yeah, kind of neat, and should be a fun stopover on our way this direction. Pushed us to go. Yep, gate and a fire.
Well, looks like the road that we're on does not go through where we hoped it did. Bummer.
Alright, well, turn around.
Alright, sorry. We're back. We turned around. Now we're putting the other direction.
Yeah, some of the ranches that are all open for the races, you know, obviously when they're not mid-race, they close up their gates. And so some, you know, it's not as clear. Like in the U.S., you could just see what kind of land you're on, and you can go, aha, as long as I leave the gate how I found it, open if left open, closed if you showed up, it was closed. But here, you know, that one had a no pasar sign even. So turning around, see if we can find another road over the summit, and if not, we'll just go down to the south side of the dry lake bed and head north. But
got off the dry lake bed, we started working our way up into the mountains, and man, was it pretty. This is a well-visited hot spring, and the road, although rough, is in no way tough.
In fact, when we were there was even a Class C RV at the hot springs, which I wouldn't recommend, but it's obviously doable.
Okay, we made it here and we picked out our little spot. It's being cleaned right now, and it is extremely windy and dusty, as you can tell. But we have a little spot that's slightly protected from the wind. I'm hiding behind Dusty right now. And I'll show you once the pool's cleaned up. It has a nice view. And it'll be nice and cool because of the wind tonight. Maybe it'll die down tonight. She said sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see. But man, it is gorgeous up here. And each little camp spot, or at least most of them, have their own little pool. So she walked us around and showed us all the different pools. And we picked the one that we picked, so I'll show that to you in a minute.
Each site has a little covered area, a barbecue, and a trash can, and for the most part feels nice and secluded from the other sites. We picked this one because it seemed to be the most protected from the wind. Plus, it had a good view.
Despite the wind, it's quite pretty.
Yeah, we have a good view.
Yeah. This whole place is pretty amazing, but like I feel like you have to go and do every single one of them. You know, you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this other one next time and this other one, and like move them around and kind of check them all out.
And they're different sizes, like we have different size groups too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the perfect sort of like if you're doing a Baja trip with people, especially new to Baja, but even regulars to come through here. It just makes so much sense.
Yeah. At
the very end or the very beginning, because you're so close to the U.S.
Hopefully you get lucky and don't have as much wind as this.
Yeah. We'll see. I asked if it calmed down at night, and he says, oh, no, más fuerte. It's stronger. So we'll see how it is. I mean, the truck's fine being down, but it does make you a little worried. So many trees, and there's these little palapas that didn't even like take flight. But I'm sure this wind is pretty normal for them, and probably not a big deal.
They don't seem too worried.
No. Hello. In your little cave.
Okay, maybe you'll be able to hear me because it's very windy, but the water feels amazing, and despite the gnarly winds, it's crazy windy. And a little bit of dust in our eyes. It's still really cool. And I can only imagine if it was like perfect weather. Can't really beat this. Have any thoughts?
Pretty awesome. It's like one of the special spots in Baja, one of many, but still. It's kind of, you know, the price is muy caro.
Yeah, for Mexico.
Very expensive, but it's actually so special, and the effort put in is actually pretty high. I mean, they're very clean. Everything's clean.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's completely worth it. You know, I mean, if you could afford it, stay for a couple weeks, but at $70 a night currently, anyways, with the exchange rate, kind of a two-nighter, one or two-nighter. For us, it'll be one, you know, tonight. But I could see coming here with a group of people, and then you all get your own, or you get one of the bigger campsites. I've never done the hike up to the Cascadas, so that'll be cool to see.
Yeah.
Even with the crazy winds, we had a good, relaxing night, soaking in our surroundings.
All right, good morning. It's not windy this morning. The wind was absolutely insane last night, but it's beautiful today. So we're going on a little hike past the hot springs. I couldn't think of the word. It's like hot tubs, thermales. What is it? But to some waterfalls. So there's a few waterfalls that you can hike up to. She said the first one, there's not much water. Second one, there's more water. So we're climbing and we'll see what we see. Our hot tub is currently filling because last night it was so windy. What did you say, Tim? The pipe blew off?
It was also nasty from all the stuff falling from the trees. So it was probably due to do a refill. So yeah. I cleaned it out, reconnected it, and we should have a good one when we get back.
So, hike, then go back and enjoy hot tub. This is really cool. Really pretty. Haven't touched the water yet, so I'm not sure if it's hot. I'll let you know. There's so many hummingbirds everywhere around here. Like this morning we were sitting, just having our coffee, looking at the view. And I don't think I've ever seen so many hummingbirds in one spot, just out in the wild. I love hummingbirds, they're so much fun to watch. But all along the hike, they're hanging out, buzzing around. Pretty cool. Let's go touch the water. Not hot. If it was warmer outside, it would be nice and refreshing. On the way back, we're racing the wind. It's starting to pick up again, but I don't know how bad it will get, but it's nothing compared to last night. Pretty much just rock and sand for this hike and following a bunch of cairns, but it's pretty cool.
All of a sudden it's time to think again. So before I sink back to my senses, I would like to run away. I would like to run away. I would like to run.
Well, it was a good little hike. We made it back to camp. Not too windy yet. I don't know if it's gonna get windy, but it's still nice here. So let me show you, now that it's not so windy, what our little spot looks like.
When the weather is perfect, I have to say, this is hard to beat.
Not too bad, huh? Well worth redoing it because that's a lot cleaner than it was.
This place, although pricey, was a really cool spot that in my opinion is for sure worth a visit. I'll leave a link in the description below if you want more information, or to make a reservation. You can and are supposed to reserve your pool online ahead of time. We just showed up and it worked out, but I would recommend making a reservation. If it was a busy weekend or something, it would be a long way out to learn there were no campsites. Another thing to note before you arrive is come stocked. There isn't a store nearby, so bring all your supplies. And that's about it. This place is a not so well kept Baja secret these days, but that doesn't make it any less magical. Sadly, there was a checkout time, which meant it was time for us to hit the road again.
Si no puedes decir sí, ¿quién puede decidir? Sin rodeos dice simplemente soy así. Si no nos lo notificas, el silencio sigue ahí. No simules ser sincero, reconoce, solo di que sí. No puedes decir sí, siquiera di que no. Si nos dices no conoceremos que es que no. Si no nos lo notificas, el silencio sigue ahí. No simules ser sincero, reconoce, dinos.
Dry lake bed is not so dry off of the tracks. Even just walking on it, you can feel how muddy it is just right under the surface. So anything that's as heavy as a vehicle, don't go off the tracks too much because you might get unlucky. Just like that, we say goodbye to Mexico. For
Sad.
now, but not for long.
No, not for long.
We'll be back in about a month, I think, if not sooner. But
Yeah. It's always that weird feeling of like every country, but of course in our lifetimes we've done Mexico the most. When you're near the border, you can't wait to get out of Mexico because it's, you know, foreign country and it's a
the
border
border
town.
town is so yucky all the time.
Well, always, every country though. So if it's Ecuador, you're like, I want to get out of Ecuador. Only when you're in that little border town though.
Yeah.
And then the same with the town on the other side. You're like, we're in Peru now, but let's get the hell out of this border town.
Yep.
And so it's like, you know, in the desert this morning, it was just like, why are we gonna
Why
go
do we wanna go
home?
there?
So wonderful. And we were gonna follow the beach over into Sonora, but it's way out of the way, and it's like, all right, we should go finally do some work on Dusty. And then as soon as you get in the town, there's cops everywhere, and
Why
you're
did
wondering.
we decide to do this?
Yeah, you're like, I don't like border towns.
Yeah.
So
Dusty
now
will get some
it'll be
love.
fun to get some in and out or something on the way home.
But yeah, Dusty will get some love, and then we'll head back to Baja. Pretty excited about that.
Sounds
But
pretty
next
good.
time you see us, we'll be in the U.S., hopefully, unless something goes terribly wrong.
Yes, unless they don't let us in, because a week ago we were in Alaska and they might say,
What?
you guys are clearly transporting something over long distances.
Yes, ourselves.
And our home.
All right, we'll see you in the U.S. And we made it. It took forever to cross that
It's a
border.
3 hour, don't you think?
Yeah, that was one of the roughest crossings back into the U.S.
Yeah. And there was nothing really going on as far as we could tell. It was just incredibly slow. And then
I don't I want to know. I should Google if there's like an event going on, because there were so many people crossing into Mexico. The traffic on the other side was absolutely
way worse.
insane.
Way worse.
So I don't know if.
But it moves
something-
faster. They don't
Yeah.
usually do as much of a check. Although for us, it was so funny. We had our global entry cards and we couldn't get into the entry lanes. It's, you know, once you're sort of like on a turnabout, there's giant cement pylons,
can't get
and there's
anywhere
never
else.
a chance to be like, reconsider. Would you like to go to the entry? You know,
Yeah.
if you don't get on the right street initially, then you're just not making it there.
You
but
are where you are, yeah.
the guy just looked at our cards and was like, where are you heading? Arizona. Okay, boom, in.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't a long line. It was
No.
less than a mile long line. I would say it wasn't even.
Like I thought when we
I'd say
got
it was
there,
a quarter
like
mile distance,
half
right?
an hour maybe.
Yeah, totally.
Is what it looked like it should be, and it
Yeah.
took 3 hours.
But there's no explaining it. I've been in way longer lines that took a similar amount of time or less.
Yeah.
And then that was a short line that took forever. So whatever.
We did it.
We did
are
it. We're exhausted.
Yep.
I feel like
Ready to
we
camp.
have all we've done is drive.
Yeah. Camp and
Oh.
eat some dinner.
Yeah.
But
What a week though, like a week and a half of
Yeah.
just.
yeah, can
I
you
think we're
believe
over
that
we're over 4,000 miles.
we were in
a week.
Alaska like what 2 weeks ago or something?
Yeah, a week
like
and a
it
half.
seems like months
or 2
ago
weeks,
now.
Yeah. 2 weeks Alaska, a week and a half ago we were in the Yukon.
We were in snow and we were just swimming in hot springs just now, which is
Yeah.
crazy. And
Had the AC on a minute ago.
yeah, really cool.
But yeah, good to be down south.
Can't wait to go back to Baja. Like that was just like not quite enough time, but
Yeah.
it makes me really excited
Yep.
to spend a lot more time in Baja. So
Yep.
I love Baja. People are so friendly. Food is so good.
Yep. So good.
It's beautiful. So, anyways, we're gonna find camp wherever that may be, and we'll probably see you then.
That's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed these hot springs. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're almost caught up to real time, so join us next week as we add a few things to Dusty in preparation for leaving the U.S. We'll see you then.
To run away.